Yo guys, what's up? It's FireShooter87 and we're going to be doing a what if scenario. What if Ben Solo never turned into Kylo Ren? Before this video starts guys, I just wanted to say there will be spoilers for The Last Jedi episode 8. So if you have not seen that movie and you do not wish to be spoiled, click away now. To start guys, a lot would have changed. All those scenes with Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens would have been very different. I heard that Snoke may have had another apprentice, which he probably would have used instead of Kylo Ren if he was never found. Kylo would have completed his training with Luke Skywalker at his Jedi temple, which would have made a new generation of Jedi. I personally think that Ben would have went back to General Leia and fighting against the Resistance with her, as she is their mother. So, when Kylo was on Takodana, it would have been Snoke's other apprentice instead. So, for the sake of this video, let's just say Snoke did not target any of Luke's students, and instead he just stuck with his one other apprentice, sticking to the Sith rule of 2. So, Kylo would have fought against Snoke's apprentice. I don't know anything, and I don't think a lot of people do either, about who Snoke's other apprentice was, so I can't go over who would win the fight or not. So let's just say the timeline stays the same. So Kylo fights Snoke's other apprentice until he escapes Takodana. I think in The Force Awakens, Rey would have met with Kylo eventually after they rescued BB-8 from her. And I think that Kylo would have sensed the Force in her. So she would have been trained with Luke as a Jedi, which would have completely changed The Last Jedi. So Luke would not have been in exile on Ahch-To, although he might have gone there anyways to look for the Jedi archives. Although he would not have isolated himself there and completely disconnected with the Force, which would have been much easier for Kylo to find him. So Rey probably would have trained to be a proper Jedi, while Ben and maybe some of his other students would have been fighting against the First Order. And I think personally some of the Jedi would have went with Ben, some of his friends maybe, and the rest would have gone with Luke to look for the Jedi archives. So after Rey would be trained, she would probably fight against the First Order as well. So The Last Jedi was about finding Luke and on Ahch-To, however you pronounce it. So I think that would have been different. He would never have isolated himself, and he probably wouldn't really need to be found after training Rey, because after all, they needed to find him to help defeat the First Order. But if he would never have isolated himself, it would have been fine. And he probably would have been training more Jedi at the time, which would have created a whole new generation of Jedi. So of course, the Snoke scene would never have happened, which was a pretty big thing, considering that was what we think is the end of Supreme Leader Snoke, although you never know. Rey would have found out that she didn't have any parents, at least that's what it says in the movie. And instead, yeah, she would have found out she never had any parents, which would have been pretty bad, although she would probably be comforted by Kylo and Luke. So once they made it aboard, Snoke, along with his apprentice, would probably have engaged Kylo and Rey in an amazing battle. How the ending would have happened, I don't know. Snoke would, if Snoke's apprentice, which he would have trained in Kylo's place, if let's say he went down, it would still be tough. Kylo and Rey would probably have been very powerful at the time after being trained very well by Luke, and Snoke, which would have had his lightning and everything, and he probably would not have gone down as easy as he did in The Last Jedi. He would have put up quite a fight, but in the end, I think they would have escaped, and that way they would still be alive in episode 9. That way his apprentice would have escaped the same way how Kylo escaped Starkiller Base to fight another day. And they'd probably reappear in Episode 9, maybe more powerful than ever for one final duel. But you never know. So Ben and would probably have continued fighting alongside General Leia, as long as in his starship with Poe. You know, they probably have like friendly competition who's a better pilot or whatever. I don't know. And that's how I think it would have ended. And then until Episode 9. So that's honestly what I think would have happened and if Ben never turned to the dark side. But that's just what I think. I don't know what you guys think. Tell me in the comments, how do you think this would have worked out? And if you guys like this and you guys want to see another what if scenario, hit that like button. And also, tell me in the comments what if scenario you want me to do. And yeah, make sure to subscribe for more Battlefront 2 content. And until next time, guys, peace out.